takes the pregame Badger walk and then applies the tools of the trade as he gets focused on what he hopes will be another big afternoon as the top rusher in America. Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by 5-Hour Energy. The Wisconsin Badgers coming off of a road loss to Northwestern at home today, hosting Illinois after a tough defeat last week at the hands of Purdue. And both teams at a quarterback crossroads today. Of course, the lead is Melvin Gordon at 174 yards per game. That is the best in FBS. But who will be spending a lot of time with him in the backfield? Joel Stave will start at quarterback. We also expect to see Tanner McAvoy today. And one of the feel-good stories of the Big Ten is the play of Mikey Dudek, the true freshman wideout for Illinois. Can they keep up their high-flying aerial attack despite the loss of their starting quarterback, Wes Lunt, who is out for the next month or so? Illinois has won the toss. They have deferred, so Kenzel Doe is the deep man for Wisconsin. Taylor Zaleski set to kick it off. The Illini in all white with the blue helmets. Wisconsin in the red and white. And Doe will bring it out. And he gets hammered right at the 20-yard line. And that is where the Badgers will start out, and we will get our first look at the top rusher in the country. Hi, I'm Beth Mowins. Welcome to Camp Randall, along with Joey Galloway. Paul Carcaterra is also with us today. Amongst other things this afternoon, we could see Melvin Gordon, Joey, become the fastest Wisconsin running back to reach 1,000 yards.
Melvin Gordon's the best running back in the country. His ability to change directions, put his foot in the ground, and then see a hole and get there. His vision is incredible, but his ability to hit these holes makes this offense go. They're going to need some good quarterback play, because even with 250 yards rushing last week, they didn't get it. They didn't put the ball in the end zone. That's what they need to do.
That was the second time in the last 3 games that Gordon has run for over 200. He's hauled down around the 34-yard line. There was probably a face mask at the tail end of that 15-yard run. Eaton Spence dragged him down.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 21. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And there's Gordon's change of directions. You could see the way he displaced himself, and then Spence just had no choice but to reach out. Illinois won the toss and they deferred, and I agree with deferring in most cases. If I'm Illinois and I'm playing Wisconsin, I don't know that I want Melvin Gordon to get on the field first versus my defense. I might have taken the football at least to try to put points on the board before Gordon gets his hands on the ball.
That's a great point, Joey, because this Illinois defense, the worst statistically in scoring defense, rushing defense, and total defense in the Big Ten. Another big hole for Melvin Gordon as they are already into Illinois territory. Well, Joel Stave is back at quarterback after losing the job in the offseason and then temporarily losing his throwing motion earlier this fall. He returned in a relief appearance last Saturday, and the coaches really like his familiarity with the offense. But Gary Anderson says quarterback could be very fluid today. Whoever manages the game better will play the most. And with a couple of tight ends, it's Gordon again trying to bounce to the outside. Finding some room down inside the 40-yard line.
And you can see the patience by Melvin Gordon. Comes around the end, waiting on his offensive line to get their blocks. He knows that these guys are good at getting downfield, getting their hands, and sustaining these blocks. He just waits on them. He can stand there and wait. You can see early they're going to get the ball in Melvin Gordon's hands. They're going to run this football at Illinois. Illinois is going to have to keep at least 8 guys in the box. He already has 3 rushes for 28 yards. You have to get 8 guys in the box and see if they can do something to slow him down.
He is now 101 yards shy of 1,000 for the season in this just the 6th game. Jamerson is the motion man. They'll hand him the football, and the receiver sweep inside the 15-yard line, dancing down the sideline to the 14. Arneson got a nice block on Ernest Thomas to spring him 23 yards.
Yeah, last time we were in town, they talked about Arneson. They talked about these tight ends having to get these blocks downfield, and you can see Arneson, tight end, downfield getting blocks. And that's the key to this running game, especially when you run around these edges. The guys that can get downfield and sustain those blocks are what give you the big plays.
Erickson also picked up a nice block downfield. Gordon deep in the eye. They'll get the call on first down. Cut down behind the line of scrimmage. May have lost a half a yard. D'Angelo Bentley coming up from the secondary, the cornerback with the stop.
And this is the area of concern for Wisconsin. Last week we talked about Gordon had 250 yards rushing, but they didn't have the points to show for it. From 20 to 20, they were outstanding. Long running plays, they were good moving the ball, and then they would get inside the red zone and make mistakes, throw an interception, have a penalty, and just not put points on the board. So today the focus would be better in the red zone and finish off some of these drives.
Second and 11, Gordon, a lot of room inside the 10, the 5, touchdown Badgers. Melvin gets the finish, but Sam was the man again. A terrific block by the tight end to Springham.
And I'm a Melvin Gordon fan. I think he's outstanding, but I could run this ball. They made it easy. Arneson downfield once again getting blocks. This offensive line has started this game off with an attitude, and their attitude is we're going to open up these holes for Melvin Gordon.
Well, and Joey, you made the point as soon as this drive started. Do you really want to win a toss and then give the ball to Melvin Gordon? That's what Illinois elected to do. And Gordon and the Badgers roll down the field to score. Red Panda. And so far the Badgers out in front, one touchdown. It took them just over a couple of minutes to go 80 yards in 6 plays. Melvin Gordon, 5 rushes, 42 yards, including the 15-yard touchdown. Andrew Endicott boots it away. D'Angelo Bentley from his 4. Bentley, he gets smacked down around the 16-yard line. And a nice pop from Austin Hudson. O'Reilly O'Toole will get the call today to replace the injured Wes Lunt at quarterback. Wonder Lunt, this was an airborne big play offense, and can O'Toole do the same thing against a Badger defense that is top 10 in the country in total D? O'Toole is the senior, so he's got the experience. Has to avoid the turnover. 4 interceptions already this season in his limited duty behind Lunt. Josh Ferguson will get the first touch of the day. Ferguson into the secondary and a first down pickup. Michael Caputo took him down, the leading tackler this year for the Badgers.
We talked about the blocking of the Wisconsin offensive line. Look at the start by Illinois. Again, there's the stretch play. Linemen getting out there, driving their guys out of the hole, sealed down low, and open up a huge hole for Ferguson. If they're going to compete today, Beth, they've got to run the ball, control the clock a little bit, and keep Melvin Gordon on the sideline.
Wisconsin is without its starting middle linebacker, Marcus Trotter. Derek Landish has moved over to that spot today. Trotter out injured. O'Toole to the air. Incomplete down the far sideline. Intended for Geronimo Allison. Sojourn Shelton had the coverage. How about the impact players here? Ferguson and Dudek have to have big days for the Illini.
And you mentioned Dudek last week and a huge day he had. They need some of those big plays. On the other side, Landish was outstanding last time we had Wisconsin a couple weeks ago versus Bowling Green. And then Hillary, the cornerback, look for the matchup. Hillary versus Dudek will be key for Wisconsin or for Illinois, whoever can win that battle.
Dudek is in the slot to the right. He's blocking on this play. The handoff and caught behind the line by Vince Beagle for a loss of 2 was Josh Ferguson.
This Wisconsin defense was hurt last week by the sweep play. They're going to be ready this week. They've practiced it. They studied it. They were gashed versus Northwestern, so that is a play that you watch. If you run sweeps today, expect Wisconsin to be ready.
Lubern Figaro, by the way, is out right now at one of the safety spots, replaced by Peniel Jean, out with an ankle injury. Hillary is on Dudek here on 3rd down, slotted left. Five-man rush. O'Toole looking for Dudek, going over the top, incomplete, with Peniel Jean coming over to help out. So Hillary wins the first man-on-man matchup.
And this is the key matchup in this game. Can Dudek beat Hillary? Who will win this battle? Dudek won this battle last week with 200 yards versus Purdue. Now you could see Hillary much better coverage. So Dudek is going to have to bring his A game to win the battle this week. A little easier last week.
Justin Duvernois, who's one of the top punters in Illinois history, set to boot it away to Kenzel Doe. And it's headed towards the sideline, takes a bounce at the 20, stays in, and will hop all the way down to the 1-yard line. What a boomer from Duvernois. 72 yards. We've got more with Melvin Gordon when we come back. See what makes Gordon so good, Joey.
We already talked about his patience in this game, but if you look at him last week here, waiting for his offensive line to get their blocks, which they're very good at. And here's the vision and ability to change directions, put the foot in the ground, see the blocks downfield, have vision to get there, explode left, and then get upfield. That's where he separates himself from the other running backs in the country.
Big weekend last Saturday, 259 yards, but the disappointment of that also being a loss to Northwestern. Gordon gets the call for a yard off the right side.
You see how many guys in the box Illinois has, and they're going to have to be up there to stop Gordon. Make it a little harder on them than they did the first drive of the game. They just went right downfield, and you can see once he gets into that rhythm, he has a lot more carries this year than he had last. So now it's his backfield, it's his control. When he gets into that rhythm, he's hard to stop. You got to get hits on him behind the line of scrimmage.
Coming out of the eye, it's Gordon. Let's get you an update on Florida State now. Back to the studio.
In that drive, that'll make that running game work. Beth, back to you.
Adnan, well, Jameis, despite what's happened off the field this week, he can tie Greg McElroy, get off to the best career start for a quarterback in FBS history, looking to go 19-0 as a starter up in the Dome. And Gordon here on 3rd and 5, he's not going to get it. Kenny Nelson with the stop for Illinois to force the punt.
Huge stop by the Illinois defense. We talked about giving the ball to Gordon to begin this game, and they went down and scored. And then they get back on the field. Great field position opportunity here for Illinois to get off in 3. Now that you have the ball on their plus side of the 50, they need this. They're replacing the quarterback. They're trying to get this thing going on offense. Nothing better for a struggling offense than short field to get to the end zone.
From the back of the end zone for Drew Meyer. Bentley and Mosley are back to receive. This will be D'Angelo Bentley picking up some extra yardage for Illinois. And boy, they have really flipped the field thanks to that Duvernois punt and then the stop by the D. They will start out inside the 40-yard line of Wisconsin. You got to give the punters some credit for helping them flip the field. As Riley O'Toole will head out there for the second time.
I agree. The punter did a nice job, but defensively, you know, to get on the field and rebound from the start that Wisconsin had running the ball, to get up there, they've got 8 guys in the box. They don't allow Gordon to get out. They contain him. Got more than one guy to the party to tackle him. Get off in 3. This could be a swing, something important for Illinois to try to get something offensively now.
First down, nice cut by Ferguson. He's got some space inside the 15, leaping over Caputo down to the 12. 19 yards on the run, getting to the edge.
Wisconsin sends a cornerback blitz here. Shelton comes in, misses the tackle. Nice job by Ferguson to make him miss. And once that happens, there's no one left on the outside, and that's why they got beat.
Read option. Ferguson will try up the middle, gets inside the 10. Josh is one of the top dual threat runners / receivers in the Big Ten Conference, and he will challenge the all-time record at Illinois for a running back receiving. 7 total touchdowns, 5 on the ground, 2 through the air. He'll step out. It's now the converted tight end John Davis in the backfield. O'Toole will keep. Goes down around the 8-yard line. Beagle again leading the charge. It's going to be 3rd down.
I don't know if this is an audible, Beth, but O'Toole, looking to the right, had the slant wide open. Just did not take it. But that's the matchup you got to get. When you look outside, you see Geronimo Allison was to his right. He's a 6'4" guy down here in the red zone. He runs a slant. Just give him the ball.
Ferguson returns a tailback. Play action for O'Toole on the rollout to the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Illini. The tight end, Matt Lacoste. His first touchdown catch of the year. He had one against Wisconsin last year as well. They have shown this look before. O'Toole is the holder, so they will now move into their PAT formation for David Reisner. They've had some issues in their kicking game this year. They missed a PAT last week. And this one's good. Solid response from Illinois here in the first quarter. A booming punt, a good defensive stand, and then on the ground and through the air, O'Toole to Lacoste for 6. .6:43 to go here in the first quarter. Tied at 7, and a good response from Illinois, Joey.
Yeah, when someone's this wide open in the red zone, somebody's made a mistake. And you can watch the safety Caputo here. As they play fake, he just gets lost. Everyone else reads it. He doesn't see it yet. Gets lost in the flow, and that's why you have a wide open tight end, Lacoste, standing in the end zone. Huge answer by this Illinois offense to tie this game.
Zaleski to kick it off. Doe is deep in his end zone. After the Illini went 31 yards in 4 plays, just a $138 to score. Doe will fight to get out to the 19. Down to the field now, Paul Carcaterra.
Don't let a bad play turn into a disaster was the message this week from Wisconsin offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig to his 2 quarterbacks, Tanner McAvoy and Joel Stave, after they combined for 4 interceptions last week against Northwestern. They'll both play today, and Tanner McAvoy, who can make plays with his legs, could possibly even line up at wide receiver. But in warmups, he didn't rep with the wideouts at all, and I thought the communication between the two was great pregame. You could tell the quarterbacks are very supportive of one another, having some fun too, throwing some deep balls to one another. I'm sure Melvin Gordon in the running game could use some pressure off their backs.
Well, so far it has been all Gordon on the ground. They have not attempted a pass yet through their first couple of possessions. They'll stay on the turf. Corey Clement, he's got nowhere to go. Swarmed at the 18-yard line. McAvoy was the starter early in the season, won the job. Stave lost the job, lost his throwing motion for a while, then recovered to bounce back. Now he gets the start today, and if we see McAvoy, it will be in relief. Both guys threw interceptions in the end zone last week, Joey, in the loss to Northwestern, and as Paul referenced, got to take care of the football if you want to stay in the game today for a Wisconsin quarterback. More on the ground. Clement trying to get the edge and cut down by Darius Mosley. They got some bounce in their step now, this Illinois defense, after.
They do, and here's what's happening, Beth. Because Wisconsin's not thrown a pass yet, because last week they've struggled at the quarterback position, when Mosley, your corner, we've seen Zane Petty, the safety, down making tackles behind the line of scrimmage, you have to prove to teams that you can throw the football, or they'll bring all their guys down. Wisconsin's going to have to go play action pass off this run game and back these defensive backs up.
3rd and 11, 4-man rush. Stave with time and fires it into the ground at the feet of Corey Clement. This is the story of the Wisconsin offense. Their run game, only 2 teams in the country do it better. But their pass game, there are only 10 teams in the country that are worse.
And you can see Stave, nice pocket to stand in, slides up. Don't go anywhere. Stay where you are. No reason to move your feet. You get yourself in a bad position and then just throws this ball into the dirt. That's the Achilles heel for this Wisconsin team. It has been all season long. You've got to make plays at quarterback when it's your opportunity.
Chance for another short field for Illinois. The punt from Meyer. This will be Mosley, and again they will start in Wisconsin territory. Down at the 42 after the 35-yard punt and the 8-yard return. As for the update, Adnan, if you were the ambitious sort, you could have one heck of a day following and watching college football throughout the state of Texas. We'll get to that in a second here as we are under 5 minutes to go here in the first. 1st and 10, second drive for Illinois that will start in Wisconsin territory. The out route to Allison, just shy of the first down marker. So you start out at the State Fair in Dallas for Texas OU. Then you could head down 35, about 99 miles to Waco for TCU and Baylor, and finish up your day down in College Station for Ole Miss Texas A&M tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
What a change. When has the Oklahoma-Texas game not been the biggest game in the state of Texas on a given Saturday? And this week it's probably the 3rd and most important game down there.
Keeper for O'Toole. He's got the first down. Nice block outside to Springham for more. Down to the 15 and an Illinois first down.
And here's the difference in the offense with O'Toole at quarterback that Wes Lunt cannot bring to this team. The ability to keep this ball and outrun the defender around the corner. You can see Schobert here has a chance. He's in the right place, just doesn't make the play, can't get around, and that's the difference. If you're Wisconsin today, if you've studied Wes Lunt all season long, all of a sudden you have got to be ready for O'Toole because he has the ability to make a play with his feet.
Nice block right there on the outside from Martez Barr. O'Toole trying to shake it off, walking a little gingerly. Wes Lunt there with the crutches on, out 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured fibula. Left O'Toole, the pitch to Devin Church. Dives to the outside, down to Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Beth, I spoke to Riley O'Toole this week, and he was excited for the opportunity. He's been in these moments before. He has a lot of experience for a backup. He told me the playbook will stay the same, but Joey, like you said, when things break down, he's going.
And that's going to be key for Illinois, to keep moving the chains. You've got to get some playmaking, not just with his arm, but with his feet. And O'Toole showed that he has the ability to run the football.
Offensive coordinator Bill Cubit. They've been scoring all right. 28 points per game. They've been a big play offense, despite some of the losses. And now O'Toole trying to get there on his own. He'll reach the 5. That'll be another push deep into the red zone for Illinois. How about this offense? Only 10 red zone trips all season against the Wisconsin D. Northwestern scored twice on them in the red zone last week. And now Illinois right back in there again for the 2nd time already in this first quarter. It's 1st and goal. O'Toole to the end zone. Allison with the catch and the touchdown. Just one conference win in their last 24 games, and they show up here without their starting quarterback. And the Fighting Illini are on top by a touchdown.
And sometimes a good throw beats good defense. The corner's in perfect position. I already talked about Allison being 6'4". Shelton is 5'9". He puts this ball in a position where only Allison can get it.
There is now an official review going on upstairs. Tom Fiedler, the replay official today. Did the ball break the plane on the catch by Allison? Taking advantage of another short field. They only needed to go 42 yards in under 2 minutes to score.
There's an official standing right there with perfect view of this play. I don't know how you could overturn it from anything that we've seen.
That's your headlinesman, William Sutter. He is right there, eyes on it. And he's the guy that made the call.
Is confirmed.
And it is confirmed, the touchdown from O'Toole to Allison. What a quick turnaround in a short period of time after Wisconsin rolled up the field on their first possession, scored with ease. And the Illini come right back with a couple of good defensive spots, a terrific punt by Justin Duvernois that changed and flipped the field here in the first quarter in Illinois' favor, a 72-yard punt. And since then, a couple of touchdowns for Illinois to go on top.
I don't know that I've seen so many teams fall or rise so much. I mean, Arizona, unranked, go beat an Oregon team that's not the same Oregon team to begin the season, and they jump 16 spots. It's kind of crazy to me.
The kick goes through the end zone. The offense returns for Wisconsin, but first, an update from the Big 12. Thank you very much, Adnan. Another game going on down in the state of Texas today. That first drive, 65 yards, over 10 yards per play, but in their last two drives, just 3 yards total on the 6 plays that they've run. Stavi stays in at quarterback, play action, and they'll try the throwing game. Looking deep for Erickson, just out of his reach at the 30.
There's the play action pass. We expected to see it. The tight end, if you look at this play, you look the way it developed, it looked like Fumagalli had the best chance of getting this ball, but nice coverage by Bentley, sees this play coming, and he gets back there with the speed to stay with this ball. But that's what Wisconsin's going to have to do. They're going to have to find a way to help out this running game, because if they don't, Illinois just keep 8, 9 guys in the box and bring these defensive backs down. If you look at this defensive set, everyone's down within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage.
They'll try to run Gordon off the left side. Nothing doing. They are just stacking everybody up close and daring the quarterback to beat them instead of Melvin Gordon.
We're talking about all 11 guys within 6 or 7 yards of the line of scrimmage. That is just saying we don't believe that you can get behind us. We don't think you're good enough to run your receivers past us. We are going to stop Gordon and make you do something else. And there's your 2 safeties up close again.
Terrific catch for the first down to Erickson, who was upended. He's been their go-to guy. He's got 40% of the team's catches this year.
Sometimes you got to go up in the crowd and get one in tight spaces. See the defense flowing to the ball. Ernest Thomas coming out, has a chance to make a play on this ball, and Stave throws a high ball. He's just getting warmed up, hadn't thrown many passes in this game. We mentioned he's been out all season long. These are the plays he has to make, especially on 3rd down.
Last year, of course, they had Jared Abbrederis, their do-it-all guy on the outside. They've been looking for several different players to step up. This is Gordon. He'll pick up a couple tough yards. T.J. Neal with a good pop.
Brought down number 7, Dave.
Gordon now 8 carries for 46 yards.
Second and 8 from the 38-yard line.
If Gordon were a team unto himself, he would be the 8th best rushing team in the Big Ten. He is running the ball better than 7 of the Big Ten schools. Stavi Trouble with the snap, able to clean it up. Good protection, and Stavi rifles it down the middle. Caught by Sam Arneson. They're going to mark him a yard short out at the 45.
That's 2 straight completions for Stave. Talked about getting his confidence back in it. Finding guys in his zone. You can see he's had the patience this time. Stands in the pocket. Nice protection. Only rushing 3 by Illinois. And he finally finds a guy in a pocket to turn this into a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. And this is where they want to be, especially with this running game.
Showing power with 2 tight ends and the fullback in front of Gordon. All Melvin off the right side for the first down.
Melvin Gordon on the carry. Number 9, Thomas with the tackle. Ball marked at the 49-yard line.
Beth, if I'm Wisconsin, this is where I want to throw a pass on 1st and 10. These are the plays where the Illinois defense brings all 11 guys up within 6 yards. I would want to throw a pass if I'm Stave, if I'm the offensive coordinator, Ludwig. I'm thinking pass on 1st down. It's my best chance to get somebody behind the Illinois defense.
Over the last decade, Wisconsin has had the 4th best home record in the country. But here against Illinois as a heavy favorite, the Fighting Illini have the lead after 1. Gordon and the Badgers got off to the early lead before the Fighting Illini came right back. Down at the bottom there, a significant story for Illinois. Their own 48. Their last 2 drives, they started in Wisconsin territory. They scored on those. And perhaps the play of the game thus far, a 72-yard punt from Justin Duvernois that flipped the field after Wisconsin got out on top 7-0. Stavi going downfield. He's got his tight end Arneson with the catch at the 30 as they roll into Illinois territory.
And there's that 1st down pass, and that's what we just talked about. I want to see him do something on 1st down because the defense is in there. The safeties are downhill. Here's a little play action pass. And you can see these linebackers coming up. You see both these guys. They're up in the box. And as this play plays out, now their feet are flat. Stave, nice job finding a tight end across the field.
Arneson had 10 catches in his first 3 years combined. He now has 12 already on the season. At this, the midway point. Gordon picks up a few more tough yards. Jihad Ward, the junior from Philly, up front with the tackle.
And you can see in this running play, Barton, the safety, is involved again. You can see Bentley in there involved again. As long as these defensive backs continue to get involved in tackling Gordon, if I'm Ludwig, if I'm Stave, I'm begging, let's see if we can throw the play action passes just to back these guys up.
Joel, 13-9 as the starting quarterback. He had plenty of experience. Of course, he was the starter last year before getting injured in their bowl game. Looking left, throwing it underneath. Again, it's Arneson in traffic with the grab. Sprawling himself out to the 20.
I think if Zane Petty, the safety, had a chance to play this one again, he should have made this play. This is a ball that should have been his, should have broke a little better on that. Wasn't sure what he was looking at. Now he's dealing with a big tight end, and Arneson, I understand that, but at the safety position, you got to take these chances to make a play on this ball, and you can see he's upset with himself because he knew he let one get away.
A couple of tight ends left, Arneson in motion. More play action. Stave on the move, fires looking for Arneson, incomplete. And this time Joey Petty got there a little too soon.
Pass interference, defense, number 21. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
This is Stave's athletic ability as TJ nailed the linebacker with a clean shot. Nice job of eluding the linebacker, getting a throwing lane, and then outside you can just see Petty just there a little early. He's covering Arneson. Had him last play when I thought that Petty had a chance to make a point on the ball. This one just gets there a little early.
First and goal, Badgers from the 6. This is Melvin Gordon. The stutter step and then powers his way into the end zone. Melvin Gordon with his second touchdown of the day, carrying not only the football, but I believe that was T.J. Neal, who he took along for the ride. Caglianone's extra point is good. Gordon now 13 carries, 62 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Showing some muscle right here, carrying the defender with him. Touchdown run, they go 10 plays, 75 yards to score. And in case you missed it, video of the touchdown is now posted on the SportsCenter app, available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it. Gordon now about 70 yards shy of 1,000 for the season. And can the Fighting Illini respond? Bentley out to the 30. How about an update on the Hoosiers and Hawkeyes? Here's Edmond. See, they are trailing early to Minnesota in that Western Division, which is where both of these schools reside, Wisconsin and Illinois. Of course, Wisconsin would be in trouble if Northwestern stays on top. They've already lost to the Cats.
9 yards on the pass completion.
On the east side, Michigan State and Ohio State both at 1-0 in the league. Ohio State with the bye. Michigan State's at Purdue today. They are on a collision course to a meeting in a few weeks in East Lansing. Ferguson needing a yard for the first down, and he's going to lose a few. Cut down by Michael Caputo. It's 3rd and 6.
Yeah, you can see the receivers for Wisconsin coming in the game, and Dudek is in that group, was out of the game on that 2nd and short. That's the key. That's the place where they've been looking for the matchup, and he's in man-to-man coverage again with Hillary the corner on top of him. Here's the matchup that they've been looking for. Now let's see. He lost the last battle. Let's see if they can find him this time on 3rd down.
Pressure coming up the middle, and it gets to O'Toole. They brought a linebacker. Ben Rico coming right up the gut.
And Coach Aranda told us sometimes you take care of these receivers downfield on the front end. Just get after the quarterback, get in his face, take him down. That's -8 yards. That takes away whatever Dudek can do down the field. Make sure the quarterback just can't get the ball out.
Aranda told us yesterday we need to rush the quarterback like Nebraska did when they beat Illinois. And they got 4 sacks on that day, did the Huskers, and Wisconsin picks up a sack here today. Another strong punt from Duvern. Wow, this one goes 53 yards back to Gordon and company on the other side. Quarterbacks in the huddle, and it will be Tanner McAvoy that will come out onto the field with the offense. And his first action of the day after starting early this season. He got pulled for Joel Stave last week in the loss at Northwestern. And anticipating both guys would play today, it's McAvoy's turn right here. McAvoy off the fake. Lunges out across the 30, and he picks up a first down on his first carry.
and they start off with the beginning of his series doing what he does best, and that's the difference. When you have McAvoy in the game, all of a sudden, if you're Illinois on defense, you have to worry about a quarterback that is the better run guy. He will run the option game and keep it in his hands and make a play.
Interesting timing, too, on that, Joey. Stavy missed on his first 2 passes, but he had hit 4 in a row since. But they make the move here, and as we've talked about for Gary Anderson, very fluid for Stavy to come back at some point. McAvoy, they set up the receiver screen. That was probably a backward pass. They'll lose a couple of yards to the 30. Erickson with the catch.
And Coach Anderson mentioned that, you know, he wanted one of these quarterbacks to get in the game and get hot. And you talked about he was 0 for 2, and then he hits 4 in a row and they take him out. I've made it very clear how I feel about playing 2 quarterbacks. I think that if you're going to switch a quarterback out, you've got to do it at the right time. Don't wait till a guy hits 4 in a row. Let him play a little bit, because now he's in a field, now he's in a rhythm. You hate to see it broken by coming out of a football game, especially when you've struggled at playing quarterback.
McAvoy's first pass, and it's complete out to Doe at the 45 for another first down. 16 yards on that pass play.
And now the question will be if McAvoy, leads this drive, which he's looked pretty good so far. A couple completions, made a running play. If he leads this drive and he looks successful, then how long do you leave him in the game? You got 2 guys that can get into a rhythm and can play football. I would like to see a guy just have a chance to take over and win a football game for you as opposed to rotating.
Play action with Gordon. McAvoy on the rollout. Another completion to Erickson. His forward progress, I think, will leave him short of that marker. Down to Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Beth, Andy Ludwig, the offensive coordinator from Wisconsin, said yesterday to all of us that Tanner McAvoy has a very underrated arm. It's a live arm, probably a stronger arm than Stavy. He's known for making plays with his feet, but if he gets going, he could be the answer here for this offense.
He talked about his arm, and quarterbacks throw the ball differently. As a receiver, I would hate switching quarterbacks because I want to get used to the way one guy throws the ball, the way it rotates, the way it spins, and its velocity.
Gordon, his first touch of this possession, he'll pick up the first down and pick up another couple of yards. The other thing that Andy Ludwig talked to us about, and Gary Anderson too, was the importance of communication with these quarterbacks and keeping an open dialogue. Here's why we're doing this. Here's our expectations of you. Here's our expectation of the other guy. So you don't lose one if he comes out of the game for too long or if he doesn't get the start. As was the case today for McAvoy. Gordon gets a breather. This is Corey Clement. He's got some room. Rumbling down inside the 35. D'Angelo Bentley and Zane Petty with the tackle. Wisconsin, as a unit, the top rushing team in the Big Ten. And 3rd best in the country. Only Army and Navy run it better. And they are averaging over 7 yards per rush. They're over 100 now on the day here. Clement will try and add to it. Second effort gets him 2 or 3. It's Petty again coming up from the secondary as we continue to read off the names of defensive backs, Joey, coming up and really getting a lot of guys in the box.
Yeah, Wisconsin's done a better job of throwing the ball now. They've completed some passes. We talked about Stavy completing his last 4, and McAvoy stepped into this game and completed some passes. Also, it has to be tough being in this position on the sideline. You know that you completed 4 in a row. You want to get back out there, keeps his helmet on. You can see he's still locked in, still reading the plays, and that's ways that a quarterback can stay involved in the game even when he's on the sideline.
Straight drop for McAvoy. Lofts one over the top, almost picked off. And really, Petty should have had that in the end zone. And McAvoy, a sigh of relief from the quarterback right there.
I think Zane Petty was surprised. I think Zane Petty's playing deep safety. All of a sudden, he looks up and he sees this marshmallow coming at him. And he really looked like is that really the football coming right at me, and just doesn't make a play here. But that's the play that this Illinois defense needs him to make, a ball thrown right at him. There's the mistake. That's been the problem with McAvoy. At times he takes these chances and throws the ball in harm's way.
Gordon returns to the backfield. He's offset. And he'll get the call. The stiff arm, another one, and stuff there at the 31-yard line. Petty finally able to wrap him up with Bentley coming up.
And Barton has been very active for Illinois in the run defense. He's been down there, he's been low, and you can see he doesn't make this tackle, but he strings him out just long enough for Bentley to come in with the second wave. They've done a nice job when they've slowed down the run game of gang tackling. They've had more than one guy trying to bring down Gordon, trying to bring down Clement, and they need to do that to slow him down.
3rd and 9. They need the 20. McAvoy sets up the screen for Gordon, who holds on, but he will not get the yardage. Taken down at the 29-yard line by Spence and Neal.
27 Spence.
We just talked about the gang tackling. We talked about getting more than one guy to the ball. Spence is down here, number 27. Here comes Neal, the linebacker. Reads this very nicely, get around the block, and then get guys around. You can see 2, 3, 4 Illinois defenders around Gordon in this situation to bring him down.
This will be a 47-yard attempt for Gaglianone, the true freshman from Brazil. And it is no good. Missed it to the left. The Wisconsin drive stalls. Gaglianone just outside the upright, and Tim Beckman is loving it. Introduced into our lexicon, sitting on the dock of the bay, amongst other
You let me down,
terrific hits. You
let
told me not
down.
to sing it. I was fully prepared. O'Toole, off-play action, looking deep, and the pass comes up short, intended for Geronimo Allison. And we have a flag down in the backfield.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 34. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And that's redshirt freshman Chikwe Obashi hitting O'Toole late.
Not a whole lot, but you can't do it. You know, if you're going to do something stupid and hit the quarterback, why do that? Why take that kind of hit?
First penalty against the Badgers today. Just over 5 minutes to go here in the first half. It's been pretty clean on both sides. Young and Davis in the backfield in the eye behind O'Toole. The pitch to Young. They run to the boundary side. Bottled up right away. How about a Georgia-Missouri update?
Well, Beth, as we know, team nothing, Beth.
Thank you, Adnan. Tough news for Todd Gurley and the Dogs this week. And that SEC East, of course, still up for grabs. 5-man Badger rush. O'Toole finding Mikey Dudek just short of midfield. Dudek's been quiet thus far. Let's see if he can get it cranked up. 5-yard pickup. His first catch.
Bounds at the 49-yard line.
And now they will bring Dudek out of the game.
And he's been out on a lot of first and second downs. Here he's out on third down. He was your big play receiver on the sideline on third down. I wonder if he's hurt or something's going on.
He's usually the guy they look to in these spots. O'Toole, terrific fake, and he has the first down inside the 45.
O'Toole's had a really clean game today. He has done a nice job of taking care of the football, made a couple plays with his feet, makes one right here on a big third down to, again, get on their side of the 50-yard line.
He sells this beautifully and gets a couple of defenders going with the pitch man. The senior out of Wheaton, Illinois. He was the high school state player of the year, won a couple of state championships. And then when he arrived at Illinois, there was a fellow by the name of Nathan Shieldhouse with the starting job. He held that for 4 straight years. And then O'Toole with an opportunity this year was passed over by Wes Lunt, the transfer. And now with Lunt down with an
Charge
injury,
timeout, Illinois.
it's O'Toole with an opportunity to lead the Fighting Illini. What would be a big upset here this afternoon. Still a long way to go. Lose a couple today. This week's rankings brought to you by Allstate, the top 10. On first down, the deep ball incomplete, intended for Allison.
You talked about the Baylor game. That is one of those teams in Baylor that is creeping up. They're getting up in there, and a couple people have them in their top 4. To me, they haven't played anybody yet.
Yeah.
I don't respect them. I sat down, I studied them versus Texas last week. I didn't think they looked great. I didn't think they looked like a 51 points a game offense. I would like to see them this week versus TCU, and I need to see them versus quality opponents before I give them the respect of a top 4, top 5 ranking.
What can they do better today against TCU to impress you?
I need to see their pass game. I need to see their pass game. They didn't pass the ball very well last week.
Option O'Toole, Ferguson, they run it short side. And a 1-yard pickup. Paul's got more on the quarterback, Riley O'Toole.
O'Toole making plays with his feet, but trying to stretch this defense with his arm. Moments ago, he was huddled up with his wide receivers, and he told all of them, watch his hand signals. He's going to be changing plays at the line with his hands. What are we looking here for, Joey?
Just quick movements. These hand signals, a lot of people think that it's like baseball where they're tapping the elbow, the ear, the neck. It's not like it's just one quick hand movement that has to be caught by a receiver.
Again, there is no Dudek on the field here on third down for Illinois. O'Toole drops it off to Ferguson, trying to get there on his own. Hurdles over a defender, but will come up a few yards short.
I like to play by O'Toole here. Finding a little time in the pocket, nobody's open, drop it down. And let's just see if one of your best playmakers, Ferguson, can get you a first down and at least put you in a position to have a decision to make. Now it's a 4th and short. And if you watched last week, Northwestern,
think about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Northwestern had a 4th and 3. They converted, ran it right between the tackles, converted versus Wisconsin. Later on in this drive, in the same drive, had a 4th and 4. Converted that, went down and put points on the board. If I'm Illinois, that's in my mind. We are in that territory where, we don't want to punt it. You're on your 36-yard line. That's a long field goal to make, especially in a windy place like Wisconsin.
Kick game is suspect at best.
Exactly. 4th and 2. Now you get into and O'Toole making the play of dropping the ball down, taking care of it. Now gives them at least a chance to convert this.
Paul Carcaterra was telling us too, Joey, during that last time out, he's been keeping an eye on Dudek down on the sideline. There does not appear outwardly to be anything wrong with Mikey. He has been walking around the sideline, getting water. He's been up on the white of that sideline, watching his teammates. But a guy that had 8 catches for 200 yards, the best day for a receiver in the Big Ten this year, in the Purdue game last week, has just the 1 catch for 5 yards today, and he's spending a lot of time on the sideline.
And it could be a situation where Wes Lunt at quarterback felt more comfortable throwing the ball to Dudek. You bring O'Toole in, and he may not have that ability or the idea of leaning on Dudek as much, and he spreads the ball out more and goes other places. But Dudek has not been a factor at all here today.
4th and 2. Ferguson stuffed in the backfield, and he won't get there. The ball was down. It's been whistled dead. The charge coming right up the middle again. I think it was Vince Beagle. We've been calling his name a lot today. That got there first. Almost beat the handoff from O'Toole.
Yeah, Beagle's the outside linebacker. Just, you could see, I think it was a scheme. I think it was a game where they slanted, and they slanted right into the run play. There's Beagle, the linebacker, standing up and just shoots across the gap. That has to be a mistake. And looking at that play, O'Toole, I believe, should have kept this ball. He should have held on to this ball, and there's a wide open gap to get him in between, Beagle and Caputo, the safety, but nice play by Beagle. Give him credit for shutting down his 4th down.
Illinois turned it over a couple of times on downs last week in the Purdue loss. They turned it over here, and now Stavi is back in at quarterback, and this is Kenzel Doe with the long run up the sideline. Eaton Spence caught him to save the touchdown.
You bring Doe coming across this formation full steam ahead. And again, Arneson, the tight end, out there lead blocking, gets a nice block, and that's all Doe needs. With his speed and his explosiveness, one little crease and he's up the sideline.
34 yards on the play for Doe. 143 yards rushing so far for Wisconsin. Gordon, huge gaping hole for Melvin Gordon, who struts in for 6 more. 3rd touchdown run of the first half. Yard run for Gordon, who is now 4 shy of 100 yards on the day. Gaglianone finishes off a 28-second scoring drive. A couple of plays going 64 yards. Doe and Gordon with the 2 carries.
Freeze it here. When you watch the 2 safeties, here's one, and then there's Petty on the other side, and you let it roll. Barton gets picked off, and then that's just a bad angle by Petty. What they did so well when they were shutting down this run game is both safeties were inserting themselves into these holes and making plays versus the run game. In this situation, you can see once you pick one guy off in Barton, and Petty, the other safety, takes a bad angle, there's nothing you can do. Gordon's going to gash you, and he has the speed to go the distance. You can't make a mistake in the run game, or they will hurt you.
A 7-0 lead for Wisconsin, then Illinois scores 14 straight, and now the Badgers respond with back-to-back touchdowns. A 7-point lead, 2:14 to go in the first half. From the 3, it's D'Angelo Bentley. Bentley hauled down at the 29, and we've got penalty flags down as well. How about a tease of what's coming up at the break? Here's Adnan Burton.
All right, Beth, coming up in the Dave & Buster's halftime report, Robert Smith, Butch Davis, and I will break down some of the action that's going on right now, including with regards to Georgia and Missouri. Without Todd Gurley, how the Bulldogs are stepping up. Also tell you what's happening with regards to Florida State. The Red River rivalry is renewed for Oklahoma and Texas, and a wild game right now for Iowa and Indiana. Plenty of points being scored in Big Ten action there. Beth, back to you.
Thank you very much, Adnan. I know without Todd Gurley, Joey, you're pretty high on his replacement. Chubb's running the ball pretty well so far in the first half.
Yeah, I am a fan of him. I think he runs hard. Now, he doesn't carry it 20, 30 times a game, but when he does get in the game and carry the ball, I think that Chubb is a guy that runs through tackles and changes directions pretty well.
O'Toole and Davis in the backfield here for Illinois. Pass out in the flat. There's the 2nd catch of the day for Dudek. Let's go back to Todd Gurley for a moment. Amir Abdullah at Nebraska and Melvin Gordon at Wisconsin. Running backs have not been drafted highly in the last few years. You seem to think at this point Gordon would be the top guy. As O'Toole continues to run the 2-minute drill. And a flag there, interference coming on Sojourn Shelton.
Yeah, and if I'm a guy and I'm running a football team, my very first pick is Melvin Gordon.
Pass interference, defense number 8. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
I think that Melvin Gordon, with his size, his speed, and his ability to change directions makes him the #1 back in the country. And then I'm going to Amir Abdullah out of Nebraska. Again, a guy that can change directions, a little smaller. You're not going to give him the ball 25 times a game, but with his speed and quickness, I like what he brings to an offense.
O'Toole floats one over the top. He's got a man out across midfield, and it's Dudek again. who has started to come alive here with the opportunity.
Yeah, and there's Dudek, and this is the guy we were waiting on, and he just reads the blitz. That's a hot route. When a receiver comes off like that, looking back, that's a hot route. They sent the blitz. He got right behind him. Way to execute if you're Illinois on offense, to see this blitz and execute the play that'll stop it.
O'Toole's pass incomplete, looking for Dudek, who had Hillary guarding him closely. That's the matchup we talked about earlier. Leon Jacobs was bringing some pressure on Riley O'Toole.
And to finish on the running backs, I think Todd Gurley is the third best running back in the country. And I catch a lot of heat for that because people see his numbers. They see him, he's in the SEC. I get all that. I just don't believe that he changes directions as well as Melvin Gordon or Amir Abdullah. And I think you need that, especially when you're talking about next level football.
On second down here for Illinois. O'Toole eludes one guy and then has to chuck it out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1:27 to go. So now you've got 3rd and 10. You've already gone for it once on 4th down today.
Coach Aranda's doing a nice job of mixing up these blitzes. If you're Illinois, you've got to find a plan. Give O'Toole a place to go with the football when they send the blitz. That time, there was no hot route. As I look around, there was no receiver anywhere running anything short. Everyone was downfield. Expect the blitz and have a plan.
Caputo, the safety, hustling up to the line to show blitz. He's coming. So is Landish. They're picked up. The pass from O'Toole, broken up by Shelton.
That's a tough play to make. I mean, you have a receiver going straight downfield, and when I said have a plan for a blitz, have somewhere to go with the ball quick. This is not quick enough. Run a slant. This is nice coverage by Shelton, but it's easy to cover Allison if he's just going to simply run 10 to 15 yards downfield and turn around in these situations. Illinois is going to have to run slant routes. Those are always good versus blitz. Beat a guy across his face. You can see everyone's covered here. They're thinking these longer routes versus blitz. That's just tough to do.
Duvernois lofts this one high and out of bounds. Shanked it to the right with 1:16 to go.
And I don't like to say that you jinxed the guy, Beth, but that was your guy early in the game.
He had the play of the first quarter, I think.
1st and 10, Wisconsin.
So above the line,
yeah.
That's all we need to stay is above the line for now. Matt Kenseth, a Wisconsin guy, he'll be fine. He'll be okay.
Gordon stays on his feet. Melvin Gordon across midfield and shoved out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. Eaton Spence saves another touchdown. 46 yards. Tremendous balance by Gordon to stay on his feet.
Again, this is the same play we just talked about a second ago. The defensive backs that played so well. Bentley was there that time. Barton, the safety. These guys have got to insert themselves. If you're going to be near the line of scrimmage, you have to insert themselves in this run game.
And congratulations to Melvin Gordon, the fastest in Wisconsin history to rush for over 1,000 yards in this his 6th game of the season.
There's going to be a lot more to come if the defensive backs from Illinois continue to insert in the wrong gaps and take bad angles versus this run game. They did so well for that stretch in the first quarter, moving into the second quarter. All of a sudden, that's gone haywire, and they're getting picked off.
So close with his mother, Carmen, who's been so instrumental in his life. Putting on the armor for one more time. His teammates talk about what a great teammate he is, what a great role model for the younger players. And he's putting all of his running skills on display as well. He has talked openly about wanting to be the best in the country. When you talk about Gurley and Abdul Downs against Oregon, the true freshman, late night for undefeated Arizona. We'll see if he can continue to go. We'll look at the latest dish brought to you by Dish Network. Joel Stabby to the air, and it's dropped by Austin Traylor.
Like the play call, like the execution, everything but the catch by Traylor. Nice throw by Stave, who's come back into this game and stayed right in rhythm. You can see drops this ball on the money. That's a play that has to be made. But if you look at the quarterback position and how these guys have played, we talked about, coming into the game, they have to make plays in the pass game. I think both quarterbacks have played pretty well today.
Stavi's 4 for 7, McAvoy 3 for 4. They've combined for 66 yards. 3rd and 7. Stavi looking for Jordan Frederick, who makes the catch and is immediately wrapped up short of the first down by Ernest Thomas.
Jordan Frederick.
How much you trust your quarterback in this situation? This is a place where you might want to take your chances here. You take your chance and let your quarterback put this ball in the air with some of the bad play that's happened, some of the turnovers that have happened in the last few games, and see, can they make a play for you down here in the red zone?
Wisconsin has a timeout to think about it.
They're just going to let it run down and kick.
It would be a 44-yarder, Joey, for your true freshman, Gaglianone, who has a 51-yarder on the season.
And just missed.
But missed
his
earlier
last one, yeah.
from 44. So that'll give us a chance to go back to the Dish Network with the latest Dish and some spotlight performers tonight on the ESPN networks. A lot of folks think Amari Cooper might be the top player in the country. Christian Hackenberg looking for a bounce back. He doesn't have a touchdown pass in his last 3 games for Penn State.
He has struggled. He has struggled this season with turnovers. When you watch him play, he's not improved. He's not a better quarterback than he was last year. You know, it's a new offense, but taking care of the football is universal, regardless of what offense you're in.
As high as Ole Miss was last week with that win over Alabama, you think they can come back and win on the road today?
Just no time to rest. I mean, there is no time to celebrate beating Alabama. You can get right back in the saddle. I do not think that they beat Texas A&M tonight.
Gaglianone missed from 47, and he'll try from that same distance again. And this actually at 3 yards closer from 44 yards. And that one has the leg, and it's good. The true freshman puts 3 more on the board with 3 seconds to go here in the first half.
It always stinks when you leave 3 seconds on the clock. Then you got to kick it off, you know, which I mean, you take a chance. Anytime you kick the ball off, you take a chance of something bad happening.
Well, especially when Viangelo Bentley is back deep. He has a kick return for a touchdown in his career.
I'd be surprised, very surprised, if they kick this ball to Bentley. If you're going to leave 3 seconds, don't compound it and kick it to a very talented kick returner in Bentley.
Let's go around the Big Ten Conference. Ohio State's got the day off, but J.T. Barrett been putting up some big numbers. He's tops in total offense in the league right now. Big turnaround for Northwestern, although they're trailing Minnesota today. And that Michigan State defense is strong once again. This year they've coupled it with one of the top scoring offenses in the country as well, with Connor Cook. And Jeremy Langford starting to get it rolling too out of the backfield. See if they will have a chance with Bentley. They will not. It goes through the hands of Mosley. And that will take care of the first half of play. They lost an early lead, did Wisconsin, but they've scrambled to get it back. And they are on top of the Fighting Illini at the half, 24-14, on a day that we've already seen Melvin Gordon become the fastest Badger in history to rush for 1,000 yards. Down to the field now, Paul Carcaterra.
Coach, what's been the biggest challenge stopping Melvin Gordon in this Wisconsin run game?
Well, they've done a great job there. You see in the second quarter, we've got to be able to still load the box and take him away right away.
Your starter, Wes Lunt, was injured a week ago. You bring Riley O'Toole in as the starter. How would you assess his first half?
I think he did well for us. We got to see how he can do the second half. That's the most important right now.
Thank you.
Whistling Straits. Joining Bob.
10-point lead at the half for Wisconsin. Now let's get you to Adnan Burke, Robert Smith, and Butch Davis in the studio for the Dave & Buster's halftime report. Melvin Gordon with another big first half for the Wisconsin running game. He's got Wisconsin up top 24-14. 3 scores for Melvin. 146 yards. He's the fastest in Wisconsin history to get to 1,000 on the season. He needs one more yard to pass Alan Amici at number 10 all time, and he is definitely in the hunt to catch Ron Dayne for the single season rushing record of over 2,000 yards if he can maintain this pace. Beth Mowins along with Joey Galloway and Paul Carcaterra here at Camp Randall Stadium. Another terrific first half for Melvin Gordon, who you think is the top back in the country right now.
Absolutely, and he was Melvin Gordon in the first half. And the offensive line, the tight ends probably don't get enough credit for the blocking. And then I think the biggest question for Wisconsin was quarterback position, and they've been 8 of 12. Both guys have looked pretty good, and probably more importantly, taking care of the football. No turnovers for Wisconsin or Illinois.
So how does Illinois come back now? Of course, they're without Wes Lunt. Their starting quarterback, Riley O'Toole's been pretty solid through the first half.
He really has, and he's made a couple plays with his feet, and I think that's important to his game. Be able to run the ball some. He has 34 yards rushing, and then take care of the football downfield.
Good pressure that time coming from the Wisconsin defense. Let's take a look back at the first half for Riley O'Toole.
And the athleticism, you can see he gets out on the edge, keeps the shoulder square, and then this is the part that he brings to this Illinois offense that Wes Lunt didn't, the ability to run the ball, and then the beautifully placed pass, back shoulder to Allison in the end zone.
O'Toole's numbers on the day, including a couple of touchdowns. After the 4-yard loss, second down, O'Toole will keep. And Ferguson missed a block right in front of him, and O'Toole goes down after a few. He'll bring up 3rd and long.
And this is just not the best position to be in. In that first half, Wisconsin blitzed on 3rd down, put pressure in O'Toole's face, and they just had no answer time. They didn't know where to go with this ball. Now you go 3rd and long, it makes it even tougher because you have to wait for your receivers to get downfield as the pressure's coming in your face.
Pressure coming, and down goes O'Toole. First guy there was Leon Jacobs, and O'Toole, hurt on the play, will limp over to the sideline. 3rd sack today for the Badgers.
And this is what I just talked about. When you look downfield here, you freeze this play right here, you look across, here's your receivers, nowhere to go with this ball for O'Toole. That's the blitz package that they have not adjusted to yet. Give O'Toole somewhere to go with this ball quickly because he doesn't have the time to stand there and hold it.
Doe with the punt return. And Kenzel out to the 49-yard line. Down to the sideline, and Paul Carcaterra.
Joey, you mentioned the blocking for Wisconsin. I just spoke to Gary Anderson, the head coach. He loved the boys up front in terms of their execution, holding their blocks, and he also said Melvin was Melvin. He was patient. He felt where the blocks were, and the cutbacks were excellent. In regards to the quarterback position, no one separated themselves in that first half. He says it's all about a feel thing for offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig in terms of who will play when.
Clark, I don't know if you let him know that Beth was not a fan of when he decided to make his change at that time. Stave had hit his last 4 when he pulled him out of the game. And, you know, you say nobody got hot. Beth pointed out that he took Stave out when he was, when he did hit 4 straight.
As I get out from underneath the bus, I can report that Stave is back in there at quarterback. And the give to Melvin Gordon, who has now passed Alan Amici. He's number 10 all time. Of course, Amici, the Heisman Trophy winner from the 50s.
We talked about some of the blocking downfield, great blocking there. This one was power, and then again, nobody touched him. He's too good to not be touched. Come around the corner. Sam Arneson is one of the tight ends that has been outstanding in blocking. And that offensive line, Merritt and Llewellyn and Volts, Kostage and Havenstein have just been great. Not only the initial block, but holding their blocks downfield.
He ran 7 times for 93 yards just in that second quarter alone. They give back a yard there, but a big moment for any running back here at Wisconsin when you can pass Alan Amici, who was the 1954 Heisman Trophy winner. The other one is right up there next to him, Ron Dayne, the career NCAA rushing leader. in recent years. Well, last year he shared that backfield with James White. They both rushed for over 1,000. Prior to that, Montee Ball, they've had a terrific run. It's now 10 years in a row and 20 of 22 years that they've had a 1,000-yard rusher. Stave's pass is incomplete.
I think they fooled Stave with the coverage. I think that was a man-to-man throw that he made versus zone defense. Almost put the ball in harm's way in this situation. When you think you have man and all of a sudden you throw a ball in its zone, there's going to be guys standing in your lanes. That was a play that could have been made by Thomas, the linebacker.
Good stop by the Illini ID to force the punt. Drew Meyer with Bentley back at his own 10. Third punt of the day for Drew. High end over end. Bentley will let it bounce, and the roll will go out at the 4-yard line. 42-yard punt. As Meyer sends it out deep. Who's into the college football playoff? We start the day with 10 undefeated teams. We will lose at least 2, maybe more. First possession for Wisconsin. They were denied, but a nice punt buries Illinois deep. And now the Fighting Illini will try and work out of it. Conrad Zagzebski able to trip up Josh Ferguson.
Somehow they have to figure out a way to get Ferguson out in open space and let him make a play for you. Hadn't seen much out of Ferguson. Hadn't seen much out of Dudek. The two guys coming into this game that are the home run hitters for the Illinois offense. We hadn't seen either guy get off here today.
Ferguson 8 rushes for 33 yards. We'll go back to Josh. Delay gets out across the 10. What would you like to see them try and do with Ferguson a bit more?
Well, I like guys out in space. I like running backs. When you look at the Oregon type offense, you look at the Baylor type offense, you look at these SEC offenses, they get their athletes out in space. You're not necessarily between the tackles, not always behind the quarterback, but get them out where they have a chance to make somebody miss, make a defensive guy in a one-on-one situation, make a play. A lot of times we get used to seeing just the between tackles handoff. I like to see space. And now we have Dudek. This is, a 3rd down and 1. We talked about Dudek as another playmaker to get the ball in his hands.
They throw the other way to Barr, and he's got the catch for the first down to the 16. Martez was the motion man, and he makes the grab, tackled by Caputo.
What I like about this play is they got it out of his hands quickly. And we've seen a number of times, and Wisconsin did it again. They sent a blitz. We illustrated the last drive when they sent that blitz, there was no one to go to. This time, get the ball out of his hands quickly, get it to the flat. That's what you do versus blitz.
O'Toole makes the adjustment. Nowhere to run on the handoff. Chikwe Obashi was able to come in to make the play.
Something to take a look at right now for Wisconsin with Michael Trotter, the inside linebacker, out today. Derek Landish hurt himself in the first half. It's his left arm. You see that big black brace on 30 in red right now, and it's critical that he stays in the game as a leader. They went through a battery of testing. They actually made him simulate tackling before he came back in.
He's one of their big guys defensively. Here's Allison with the catch and pushed back by Hillary as soon as he caught it.
Nice play by Hillary, the corner. I just talked about being out in space, and this is the way you negate it. If you can get out in space and make a play, come up now and just make a tackle here, nothing hurt. And they are keeping Illinois in these 3rd and long situations, which is difficult. If you can bring the pressure and cover guys, which Wisconsin has done a pretty good job of, these 3rd and longs take out the ability to throw that ball out in the flat, which is what you normally have to do versus the blitz.
Ferguson, who is also a very good receiver, is offset in the backfield here on 3rd down. Dudek to the left. O'Toole stepping up. Riley gonna run for it. Slides down at the 32-yard line, and a 15-yard scamper by the quarterback to move the chains.
Nice play by O'Toole here. Just having the ability to have the presence in the pocket. You know the pressure's coming. It has been all day on third down. Step up, make a play with your feet. Clark just told us about Landish and the problem with his arm, and you could see he's the guy that O'Toole beat getting out of the pocket for the first down.
They're also without Marcus Trotter and Lubern Figaro, the starting safety we haven't seen today. O'Toole now 9 carries for 30 yards on the ground. Against the 4-man rush, O'Toole. Short completion for a few yards to Geronimo Allison. Geronimo had a couple of 100-yard receiving games against Washington and Nebraska this year. He's been a big play guy for them.
2nd and 8.
Definitely had the foot down and possession. He's got 4 catches for 20 yards.
See the hand signal? There it was from O'Toole out to the receiver.
O'Toole look left, and here comes Landish. Arm brace and all, taking him down. Coordinator Dave Aranda wanted them to rush as well as Nebraska did. And just like the Huskers got 4 sacks, now Wisconsin does as well.
And here's Landish right here at linebacker position. They've sent these blitzes a lot, especially starting in that second quarter, and they've continued it. Landish gets to the quarterback, gets past Donovan Young, who's supposed to be protecting. Bad blocking by your running back always lead to pressure by the quarterback.
9-yard loss. We've seen both Young and Ferguson struggle at times in pass protection today. Setting up the screen for Ferguson. Got a couple of blockers in front. Ferguson going to try and get there on his own. He needs to get to the 42, and he won't. That was Caputo, grabbed around those legs and held on for dear life.
Pretty good play call. This play had a chance. Ferguson probably should have reversed field and stayed to the play side of this call because he still had 2 blockers. But once you get, tangled up and twisted around, you really lose track of where you are. But the play was there, and a very nice play call.
He got 14 yards, but he needed 3 more. So on 4th down, Duvernois. Kenzel Doe. Duvernois crushes another one, and Doe, the fair catch down at the 10-yard line. 5:39 to go. 51 yards on the punt. More Melvin Gordon when we come back. He's got 1,000 on the season. Looking for 1,000 more before the season is done.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
A sampling of just 4 different guys who have rushed for over 2,000 yards in a single season in Big Ten history. Melvin Gordon is halfway there, the fastest in Wisconsin history. And now in hot pursuit of Ron Dayne, who has the Big Ten single season record at 2,109 yards. And Corey Clement charges through the middle of that line for a big gainer.
Corey Clement. 39-yard line.
51 yards.
Colin Petty with the tackle.
When their offensive line blocks like this, it doesn't matter who has the ball in their hands. Again, huge hole up front. These guys have been outstanding, and Clement, you can see the speed also. He'll be the next in line. They have a long line of very good running backs here at Wisconsin. But what they do up front with their blocking, the offensive line, the tight ends, they are showing why they're so good running the ball and the movement that they're getting up front.
Clement, just the sophomore, 69 on the day. Now they'll use him for play action. Stabby looking deep. Incomplete, overthrowing Erickson in the end zone.
Pass incomplete. Intended for Alex Erickson.
D'Angelo Bentley had the coverage.
2nd down.
Second and 10 for Joel Stabby. Just over 5 minutes to go here in the third. Clement stays in the backfield with Austin Ramish. Clement tries to change direction, wrapped up at the 37-yard line by Taylor Barton.
Barton with the tackle.
It's very important for Wisconsin to eventually hit one of these throws downfield, and not necessarily for this game. I mean, this is a game that they could possibly just win it by running. But as you move through your season, as you keep playing people, you need to prove to teams that you can throw the ball downfield. They have 281 rushing yards today, but when they've taken their shots downfield, they've missed on every play action pass down the field, and that's important moving forward with only 71 passing yards.
3rd and 8. Clement. You come up a couple yards short. Illinois defense able to hold. Barton again, the first guy there.
I think you definitely go here. I think the way the offensive line is blocked, you go for this. You have confidence in your team at any point in time in the game.
Into the game here on 4th down to replace Clement. They need the 29. The give is to Gordon. He's got it. Breaks a tackle down to the 22-yard line.
And you can see the offensive line. You see there are no white jerseys on the positive yard line of the line of scrimmage, on the positive side of the line of scrimmage. And when you have these short yardage runs cut behind the line of scrimmage, offensive line doesn't allow any penetration, which then allows Gordon to just spurt through this hole and show his power.
Havenstein, Costigan, Volts, Llewellyn, and Merritts, those guys up front, leading the charge for the ground game once again. Stavi caught down to the 10-yard line. Troy Fumagalli. First catch for Fumagalli. They will spot the ball right on that 10-yard line, so it's 1st and goal, Badgers. Joel Stavi, to this point, has managed the game well at quarterback. That's what Gary Anderson was looking for. He's also been able to hand it off to Melvin Gordon a lot, who's inside the 5 down to the 4. Barton with the tackle. 6 more yards for Gordon. Get him up close to 170 now on the day.
You just don't see these Illinois safeties inserting themselves like they were in that second quarter. They're playing a little further back. I mean, we're in the red zone, and these guys are 8-9 yards deep, which is fairly deep when you're on the 10-yard line. You're going against Wisconsin. Make them throw the ball. Bring your safeties downhill like you did in the first half.
Gordon and Clement in there together. 2 for 2 scoring touchdowns in the red zone today. Gordon's got it right up the middle, churning down towards the goal line. A yard shy. Mason Monheim got there to stop him.
52 Neal with the tackle. 3rd and goal.
Gordon with 168 rushing yards. That's more than Illinois' total to this point. They've got 154. Can he get one more? Gordon over the top for 6. That's his 4th touchdown of the day. Nice haul off the left side for Melvin Gordon to dance through. extra point is good, capping off a 9-play, 90-yard drive. Clement did a lot of the work early. Gordon finishes it off. Well, he went to Illinois. He lives here in Madison. Steve Stricker, the former Ryder Cupper, trying to drop a wedge from the elevated tee, about 118 yards downhill, according to Steve. Just missed out. He had it surrounded, though, Joey.
Yeah, and how about the Illinois hat and the Wisconsin shirt? But that reminds me of you at a Syracuse Notre Dame game. You know what I mean? You're torn right between the two. What are you going to do? Who are you going to root for?
Oh, like you at Ohio State, Michigan. After the kickoff, Bentley trying to make something happen for the Fighting Illini. They trail 31-14. Comes your way tonight. Both games also live on your Watch ESPN app. Ole Miss trying to stay undefeated. Can they keep that Mississippi mayhem going for one more week? 1st and 10 here for O'Toole with Ferguson next to him. Riley buying some time, staying on his feet, out across the 40 to the 44. Let's get you back to the studio for an update with Adnan.
All right, thank you very much. Update here, Beth. Cincinnati and Miami is Gunnar Kiel here. Tyreek McCord, Butch Davis. What kind of an interception is that?
That's amazing. Great focus. Great job of not giving up on the play. The best part of it, the return gets to the boundary, got a wall of blockers, tight ropes the sidelines, gets it in for a touchdown.
That is some good footwork, Beth.
Well, thank you, Adnan, as we continue to call the name of Vince Biegel. He has been the star defensively for Wisconsin today. Picks up another tackle for loss. For the sophomore from Wisconsin Rapids, they continue to stymie this run game at every turn, Joey. Just 65 rushing yards today for the Illini.
Yeah, if you're Illinois, expect a blitz here out of this Wisconsin defense. They've been coming after O'Toole, seeing what he can do in these third downs.
Showing just 2 down linemen.
There's the corner blitz.
And O'Toole's pass way over the head of Geronimo Allison. They had the short field a couple of times in that first half. They scored touchdowns on consecutive possessions. They ran 9 plays and gained 73 yards, but in their other 7 possessions, it has been a real struggle today to pick up any kind of yardage on this Wisconsin defense.
And if you're Coach Aranda, the defensive coordinator for Wisconsin, you just continue sending these blitzes until Illinois proves that they know what to do with the football, and they just have not done very well. They just had the 1 third down that they converted, but other than that, they have not looked real clean versus the blitz on any of their third downs.
Go. Trying to find some space. Pulled out of bounds. Right around the 28-yard line after a 15-yard return. Taylor Barton knocked him loose. The official may have picked up a bloody lip on that one. Good pressure coming from the Badger defense. 31-14 as we head to the 4th. And the usual excitement between the 3rd and 4th quarters here at Camp Randall. 31-14, the Badgers on top. Another big day for Melvin Gordon. 24 carries, 169 yards. And Corey Clement is making a dash for the end zone. Touchdown, Badgers. Gordon lined up as a receiver, and Clement all alone to take the football. 72 yards for the touchdown. 143 yards now on Clement today on just 8 carries. Gaglianone's extra point is good. And the Badgers have busted it open, 38-14.
just see untouched again. Offensive line doing a nice job. These holes are getting bigger and bigger as this game goes on. They start off blocking well, and they're just getting better as the game goes on up front. You know, if it's not Gordon, it's Clement. Gordon lined up out wide that time, and you got to be thinking, you know, if you're Illinois defense, you're happy to see Clement, you're happy to see Gordon out of the backfield, but then here comes Clement, here comes nice blocking to rip off a big one.
Corey with a season-high 143, down to Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Beth, the happiest person on the sideline for Wisconsin, Melvin Gordon. He's smiling ear to ear for his teammate Corey Clement. And Coach Gary Anderson told us yesterday he's the best football player he's ever coached, but he said he's the better kid. So the way that he cares about freshmen, he's a fourth-year junior, takes them under their wing. He's incredible with his academics, his work ethic in the weight room. He is the complete package, this kid.
Thrilled not only to put up numbers for himself to help his team, but also pass the torch to the guy who appears to be next in line, Corey Clement. D'Angelo Bentley finds a seam out to the 34. Gordon with 169, Clement with 143. Look at the averages for the two guys per carry, and they've got 5 touchdowns on the ground.
And as much credit as these two guys deserve, you know, the other 5 guys, offensive line guys, in Marich, Llewellyn, Volts, Costigan, and Havenstein, and then Sam Arneson's been outstanding every time we've seen a long run. He's been in front. You got Traylor, Steffes, Fumagalli, the tight ends. They've all blocked extremely well. They won't get their names in the stats, and they won't show up in the pretty graphics that you put up, but those guys have been the beginning of every single run, open up huge holes.
Change at quarterback here for Illinois. It's Aaron Bailey, the sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Bit more athletic. He's a good runner, according to the coaches. The scouting report on Bailey as he gets out across midfield.
Aaron Bailey, ball carrier.
Picks up a first down.
Bailey's a big kid, 220 pounds. You can see on that run, there was no shyness on that one. Didn't try to get down, didn't try to slide, just went straight in and tried to deliver the boom on the safety.
He hasn't played this year. He did play last year. They thought they might be able to redshirt him, but the injury to Wes Lunt has changed that. His first career touchdown pass, by the way, was against Wisconsin last season to tight end Matt LaCosse. The coaches also have not ruled out playing true freshman Chase Crouch, who had a terrific week of practice this week. Davis in at tailback. Bailey will keep, waits to try and find an opening, and presents itself. Alec James with the tackle. As you would imagine, it's, you know, talking with some of the Illinois folks, it's been a rough week in Champaign. The one game really that you thought you had to get was to beat Purdue, and they couldn't get that done at home last week. And now you come up here, a tough assignment in Wisconsin. You've got the bye week next week, and it gives you a chance to possibly regroup and step away a little bit before you dive back into the rest of your Big Ten schedule. Bailey down to the 30. How about a Red River update with Adnan?
All right, Beth, thank you. An update on Texas, Oklahoma over on ABC. Trevor Knight here to Sterling Shepard, Robert.
Yeah, this Oklahoma offense only managed 29 yards of total offense in that first half. Coming alive here now in the third quarter.
24-13, Beth.
What a big day in Texas with that game in Dallas, then this afternoon in Waco, and then tonight down at Texas A&M. Huge games across the state. Derek Landish with the tackle on Bailey.
And I think it's pretty clear what Bailey is coming to the game to do. I mean, he is every single time he's put his hands on the ball, it has been a run play. Coach Aranda told us, you know, if Bailey does play, we consider that to be an offense where they're direct snapping to a running back, and that's basically what it's been. Now he's gained some yards, but moving forward, you'd like to see if this kid can throw the ball a little bit.
3rd and 6. Bailey will keep, and he'll get it. Bailey inside the 10 before he's dragged down, but there is a flag back at the line of scrimmage. It stands right now as a 26-yard run, but it will come back. A hold on the Illini.
Holding. Offense number 3. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, third down.
That's the motion man, Davis, holding Beagle, who's made a lot of plays today.
Didn't look like much. Looked like a pretty nice block. Looked like he reached him pretty good and turned him pretty good.
3rd and 16.
But clearly the official had a better angle than I did.
Third and 16, Bailey scrambling, and he won't get away from Vince Beagle. 5th sack of the day for the Badgers, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, you put this offense in a 2nd and long, 3rd and long now with Bailey at quarterback, and we've seen since he's been in the game, they brought him in to be a running quarterback, and all of a sudden you get in 3rd and long and expect him to be able to read a defensive coverage and deliver the ball downfield. That's tough to do for passing quarterbacks. You bring in a guy and that's his first pass versus a defense that has 8 guys in coverage is going to be tough to pull off.
Wisconsin will get the ball back. When we return, by the way, after this change of possession, we're going to talk a little college football playoff. You know, the athletic director here, Barry Alvarez, is on.
Here, that strength of schedule will be a factor. And I know people can't do anything about a conference schedule. We all understand that. But there's an intent in the non-conference that can be addressed.
Barry Alvarez, the former coach here, now the athletic director and a member of that 13 men and women that are on the selection committee for the inaugural college football playoff. It'll be coming your way on New Year's Day with a pair of semifinals leading up to the national championship game. And Joey, you had a chance yesterday to interview Barry Alvarez and pick his brain a little bit about what he thinks is important and what the differences are even amongst the committee members about what they all think is of the utmost importance.
Yeah, and thank you to Coach Alvarez, number one, for letting us get in there and have a chance to talk to him. And the information that he gave was outstanding, you know, just from a standpoint of just the method, the knowledge of what is he thinking, what is the committee thinking. And then he gave me a chance to let him know what I was thinking, Beth. I don't know that mattered, but it was a great time to sit down with a guy that is doing it every single week and dealing with this information, having to process it, and then what comes out.
He, of course, would have to recuse himself anytime that Wisconsin came up. Just about everybody on the committee will have to recuse himself at one point. What do you think is of the utmost importance, and how similar was it to Alvarez?
And I'm glad that you care, Beth. I think that strength of schedule is extremely important. You know, and who you play, you know, who you go against. A lot of teams will schedule these games and put up these terrific stats. I want to know when you play against somebody good, what do you do? I think how you play home versus on the road. I think that how you look on every single game when we sit down and study you and look at you, what does your team look like? Not necessarily the eyeball test that everyone talked about. To me, it's called tapeability. It is, you know, when you try to visualize these teams playing one another, who do you take? Who do you think will win? I think, and ultimately, and I ran this one past Coach Alvarez also, I think that it should be conference champions.
What does he think about that?
Well, he told me that is something that they have discussed.
Okay.
They hadn't quite decided to listen to me just yet, but that is something that is discussed. It's on the table, and there are no clear-cut rules to this thing. That's something that they'll consider moving forward.
We've already heard, well, one coach in particular, Mark D'Antonio, thinks that it should be a conference champion, and others agree with that. High punt down to the 40-yard line. Set to be returned by Bentley. Still on his feet. Bentley getting a couple of nice blocks down to the 29-yard line. Will set up the Illini in good position with 8:51 to go. 46 yards on the punt, 31 yards on the return.
First down, Illinois.
And as we head to the commercial, a little more from Coach Alvarez.
Our job is to find and provide the 4 best teams and get it right. It's not about making sure everyone's represented.
Starters returning for another run for Coach Ryan, who's the winningest in history here for the Wisconsin Badger basketball team. Football team doing all right today as well. A big day on the ground again for the Badgers. Aaron Bailey on in relief here at quarterback for Illinois, extending into the end zone for the touchdown. 29 yards on the run from Bailey. He is impressive with his leg work.
Yeah, and these are the kind of plays that hurt Wisconsin last week. You know, when you run these sweeps, they've gotten reach to the defensive end, just created these gaps, and Bailey's come into this game, what is that, 7 rushes for 58 yards. You know, we talked about him being another running back, and that's basically what he's been, and ran the ball well so far.
6'2", 225-pound sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Makes things a little more interesting with 8:43 to play. Wisconsin anticipating an onside kick. They had everybody up, and then the kick goes into the end zone over the head of Kenzel Doe. To the studio and Adnan for an update. Catch in that Kentucky game, Joey.
Pretty nice play there, holding on to that. Adnan has forgotten that I am in the booth. He needs to get back to throwing it back to Beth and Joey.
1st and 10 for the Badgers. Can they close it out here, or can Illinois get a quick stop and start to tighten things up again? They had a lead in the first quarter, 14-7, and it's been a lot of the Badgers and their ground game since. 388 yards rushing, including Melvin Gordon with 175 and Corey Clement with 147.
And I'd be very surprised to see Melvin Gordon come back into this game. Coming in, you know, he was already at 105 carries, where at this time last year he was just at 68. And when you talk about 2,000 yards, you talk about a long season, the wear and tear that comes on his body from getting more carries in this season. It'll be interesting down the stretch to see how healthy he can stay.
Clement gets the carry. Short game.
You know, Joey, you mentioned Melvin Gordon as your best running back in the nation. You have Todd Gurley, Amir Abdullah. My question to you, though, is with Gordon on the ground, no one will ever question his explosiveness, his cutback ability. But how much of a concern is it at the next level, his inability to get involved in the passing game?
Well, I don't know that it is a concern as of yet. I think he's been better this season at catching the ball, and Wisconsin doesn't ask him to catch many passes. So it doesn't necessarily speak to his ability to do it. I think that at the next level, they will find out if he can. And if he can, that just raises his stock that much more. But when I'm thinking running back, 1st and 2nd down, I want a guy like Gordon that can make guys miss and explode through holes. And I think that the next part of that is, can he catch balls out of the backfield?
Stavi fires one complete. The career receiving numbers for Melvin Gordon, just 9 catches. And, you know, in fairness to him, last year James White was a very good receiving back. He got a lot of the plays coming out of the backfield to make catches. And when Gordon's running for the kind of yardage he is, really hasn't been forced into that different role just yet.
No, and I don't recall seeing him in any pass plays here today. That's one that Stave would like to have back. We'd like to have another shot at that one. You're not going to get much more open than this. Nice play call, tight end crossing the field, and yeah, even Stave sitting there thinking, boy, I cannot believe I missed this one.
Erickson was as open as you could get right there. Nobody within 10 yards.
Yeah, and that's an easy touchdown for Erickson there to catch that one and turn up. And again, those are the plays that Stave is going to have to make moving forward for Wisconsin to get team to back up and quit stacking the line of scrimmage to stop the run game.
May not hurt you today, but in a tight game down the road, it might. I was just about to start talking about Stave as being an efficient manager of the game today. We only saw Tanner McAvoy for the one possession. Otherwise, it has been Joel, who was the starter all last year, lost his job, lost his way after McAvoy took the job. And it has been a month or so for Stave to get back into his rhythm and back into his form, and now back out there today.
You know, I think you said it right. He's taking care of the football, and that's the key. You know, in the past weeks, they lose last week to Northwestern. They throw a few interceptions, a couple in the red zone. But today hasn't been great. He's missed some throws, missed the last one, missed this one here. But he has not turned the ball over. And at times, you'll take that. When you're struggling at the quarterback position, the coach wants a guy to get in there and at least show that they can take care of the football. He's about 50% today. 73 yards. We've seen a number of balls that he's overthrown. He could have completed. You know, the big one to Erickson would have been a huge confidence boost. And they've not been very good down the field. Wasn't good in the first game versus LSU down the field. That's why they lost that game. Northwestern was a loss. And then today they've been better. They're going to win the game, but they still have got to fix their pass game.
Punted away. Out of bounds. They've got the bye next week to continue to work on things before Maryland, Rutgers, and Purdue games for Wisconsin.
I was assigned the Big 12 and the MAC. So, you know, each of us contacted our conference commissioners, gathered information, and tried to get a background on those conferences. That was the first job. Then you know, naturally, because of my connection here, I study the Big Ten all the time. That's my starting point.
More from Barry Alvarez, the AD here at Wisconsin, who is on the 13-member College Football Playoff Selection Committee, whose job will move to the forefront here in just a couple weeks' time. We will have our first College Football Playoff Committee poll coming out at the end of October. And will their top four be the same as Joey Galloway's top four?
And this is the one here, Beth, that I've caught a lot of heat over having Michigan State in my top four. I think that, you know, the Auburn and Mississippi State game today will eliminate one of those teams, and then you'll be excited to know that Notre Dame
or Ole Miss will
move up. I think Notre Dame is next in line to move up after today's game. I don't believe that Ole Miss will win today. So, you know, when I look at these teams, I just believe that these are the top four teams as we stand today, not moving forward. And then next week we'll have a shakeup.
2 unbeatens will go down today at least. Then if Notre Dame and Florida State both win today, the Seminoles are firmly in control up at Syracuse. We would lose another undefeated team last week when the Irish go down to Tallahassee. Georgia Tech, they're in a weather delay right now, but they are losing to Duke this afternoon. Devin Church with the carry down to Paul.
Only a matter of time. I'm throwing the challenge flag on Galloway's top four. And Joey, you did mention it is as of today. So my question to you is, Michigan State has an opportunity to make a statement, go on the road to Oregon and get a win. They get blown out late in that game. What's your response to all those Notre Dame and Ole Miss fans today?
Well, my answer would be they're going to have their chance to prove what they think they are. They have plenty of good games left, especially when you talk of those two teams. And Beth mentioned Notre Dame will play Florida State. Notre Dame will have USC later on. I believe they have Arizona State also. You talk Ole Miss. They're in the SEC West. They'll have their chances. Michigan State will have Ohio State, and they'll have the Big Ten championship game. If they can run that table, I just truly believe that right now as we stand today, when I've studied these teams, I believe that Michigan State is the best out of the three teams that you've mentioned.
So not just who you have beaten, but also partly of the eye test from you watching these teams.
No, don't say eye test, Beth.
What do you call it?
It's called takeability for me. I don't like the eyeball test. It's called takeability. Am I taking Michigan State over Ole Miss? And I really would pick them if these two teams played each other at a neutral site.
There was a pass interference penalty against Wisconsin. Bailey, ball down on the turf. The scramble for it, and Malik Turner will get it back for Illinois.
Joey, I hate giving you credit, but you might make that term from a football sense, takeability. That might be famous by the time you're done with your broadcasting career out 30, 40 years from now. Takeability.
I like to add something to it. I like to bring something to the table. How about this? How about this formation out of Illinois?
They bunch 3 right, 3 left, 3 offensive linemen. Bailey going to try and create. And he's surrounded, and he goes down at the 30. Leon Jacobs, the first guy there.
But if you're Illinois, what you've gone from when you think about Wes Lunt as your starting quarterback, and then a guy that can't
300 yards a game,
leading the Big Ten and throwing, can't run a lick. Then you go to Riley O'Toole, sort of in the middle, and then now you bring in Bailey, who is an absolute. You can see he's an outstanding runner, and he's moved the offense. He's gotten the offense moving in a positive direction ever since he's come in the game.
Mikey Dudek with the catch and run down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Illini. 24 yards on that play.
Dudek is a name that coming in we expected to hear a lot more from. They struggled to get him involved. They struggled to move the ball at times. And I know that, you know, it's going to be important moving forward for if Bailey's going to be your quarterback, he has to make that connection with guys like Dudek when they do elect to throw passes.
Powerful run from Donovan Young. Down to the 1-yard line. They're trying to move it quickly here, get a score, and then get an onside kick to get it back. And a run right up the middle, touchdown Illini with 2:53 to go. And a nice job by Bailey here, running the show. 2 scores since he's come in.
Absolutely. I think if you're Illinois and you're trying to take away positives from this game, it has been since Bailey has come into this football game, the ball has been moving. He has run the ball very nicely. He's completed a pass or 2, 9 plays, 83 yards in 3 minutes on this last drive. And that is the positive. And you said they're going into a bye. Maybe they find ways to get this kid more of a part of this offense and get him on the field because he's a playmaker.
Extra point is good. Bailey, by the way, since he has come into the game, he is the leading rusher today for Illinois. 10 carries, 74 yards. And he's directed the offense downfield. Got some terrific games lined up today. Of course, last week, that crazy weekend of college football with 5 top 10 teams and 10 ranked teams all losing last weekend. Let's see if Illinois is going to line up here for the onside kick. It goes those 10 yards, and it's collected by Illinois. They can get the onside kick. They cannot advance it, but Illinois gets the football back with 2:51 to go, needing a couple of scores to tie it or win it. John Davis got it.
And it's going to be interesting because Bailey comes back in this game at your quarterback, I'm guessing, and he's a guy that runs the football well. But when you start to get the time clock running down, you sometimes have to find ways to make plays with your arm and throwing the ball downfield. We have not seen Bailey do that just yet.
Well, Joey, there are 3
ruling on
wins.
the field that Illinois recovered the kick beyond the free restraining line. That ruling is under further review.
There are 3 wins under Wes Lunt. All 4th quarter comebacks. So now they'll try and do it again under Aaron Bailey.
And they're doing it with a completely different style of offense this time. I mean, Wes Lunt, you talked about bringing him back. It was all passes. That is where Dudek was catching balls. Now this is different.
Look at that freeze right there. That is that's 10 yards downfield, and he collects it about 11 yards downfield. Yeah, this play looks like it will stand. Once you get it, you can't advance it, so they'd probably spot it around, well, right where it is right now. Around the 49-yard line.
After further review,
46.
the ruling on the field of recovery stands. Illinois' ball, 1st and 10.
That was a terrific kick, by the way, from Taylor Zaleski. Got it to hop right up for Davis to grab. .253 to go, and you've got all 3 of your timeouts. Play action, Bailey wrapped up and down he goes. Obashi took him down. Caputo got there first. 6 sacks today.
And after the fake handoff, Devin Church, the running back, just leaks out into the flat. And this is that answer. This is where they've had problems all day long, is answering when Wisconsin sends the blitz. They've not had a good answer to that, and they've got to figure that out if they want to have a chance, because everyone's going to be watching this film and realize if you can't handle the blitz, that's just what we're going to do. This is the safety. Caputo comes at the quarterback. Someone will be open. That time it was the running back. You just had to find him.
Illinois will use its first timeout. 2 left. And a 2nd and 17 coming up. Just a 4-man rush this time. Bailey in trouble, able to run out of there. And rolls over down or out to the 49-yard line. Jacobs took him down.
And that works in the favor of Wisconsin. They'll give up that kind of run. Clock still moving, bringing up a 3rd, and you see Illinois has to burn another timeout.
He just got back to the original line of scrimmage and then picked up a couple more, or one more. 3rd and 9 coming up. How about today's sharp performance presented by Polaris? And a big day for Melvin Gordon with the 4 touchdown runs.
Yeah, as much as I would have loved to give this to the front 6 or 7 guys blocking for Melvin Gordon, you can't ignore what he's done. He's been outstanding, hitting these holes. He's shown the speed, shown the power, dragging guys to the end zone. And he's been the Melvin Gordon we expected to see, coming here to Wisconsin. He's been outstanding all season long, and he just adds another big day to his resume.
Hits his season average today. The number coming in was the best in the country. One of 4 Big Ten running backs that are in the top 6 nationally. And now it's 3rd and 9 for Aaron Bailey. Dudek is slotted left. Bailey improvises, throws it deep, looking for Allison. Incomplete, and a penalty flag. Interference on Shelton.
Pass interference. Defense, number 8. 15 yards to the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Here's Allison down low in the matchup, and Wisconsin's bringing the blitz, man-to-man outside. If he realizes what's going on and gets this ball out a little earlier, Allison is wide open. Cornerback falls down. Allison down the sideline would have had a chance to get this ball in the end zone, but they did get the interference call.
15-yard penalty in college football. Sets him up inside the 40. Play action. Another deep ball. Legs get tangled downfield. The receiver goes down, but no flag as Dudek got tangled up with Tyndall.
Yeah, they've done a pretty nice job all day long of playing man-to-man coverage on Dudek. That's Tyndall this time, the freshman, in a matchup with another freshman in Dudek, and Tyndall won that battle.
Bailey feels the heat, avoids it, throws it deep, and it's going to get picked off in the end zone. Peniel Jean with the interception as they tried to force it deep. First turnover of the day for either side. And Wisconsin has the ball back with 2:03 to go.
Dudek runs his route, he looks to the middle and realizes there's a safety in the back in the middle of the field and just doesn't think that Bailey's going to throw this ball up, so he hesitates, and this is why this ball is intercepted. Not a good throw, not a good place to put it, and then Dudek not on the same page.
And the reaction from the crowd is because the ball is spotted at the 2-yard line. Even though it looked like it was intercepted in the end zone.
The ruling on the previous play was the ball was intercepted in the field of play, and the runner was down there. That ruling is under further review.
Of course, you also have the momentum rule, which states if you're that close to your goal line and it's a deep throw, your momentum can carry you into the end zone where you can then down the ball.
At least a little bit of fans that are still here are they're in the game. They are paying attention to what's going on here. This is a big call. This is, you know, give Wisconsin a chance to get this ball out a little further, which I believe it'll be placed on the 20 because it will be a touchback.
They will need video evidence to change it because it is, the interpretation was an interception at the 2. The momentum rule in the college football rulebook, if you are inside your 5-yard line and your momentum carries you into the end zone for a legal touchback, that would seem to be the case here. If the catch is made outside the 5, then your momentum can't carry you in. And I'm not even sure that wasn't caught in the end zone anyways.
Man, it's a smart play by Gene. You know, realizing that this interception probably puts this game away. Just get down and secure the ball.
Illinois down by as many as 24. They scored a couple times under Aaron Bailey, got the onside kick, and then the turnover deep finds them down 10 with just the 1 timeout left and 2:03 to go. You see the head shake.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. The player intercepted the pass at the 2-yard line, and his momentum carried him into the end zone. By rule, he is awarded the momentum spot, which is the 2-yard line.
What'd you say, Beth? We need Clark to throw a challenge flag on that rule there.
Be my interpretation that the momentum rule would allow you to bring that out for a touchback out onto the field of play. At any rate, 1st and 10 Wisconsin with 2:03 to go. They'll try and run out the clock. Corey Clement. Corey over 100 yards today, including a 72-yard touchdown run early in this 4th quarter. He now is up to 160 yards on the day. Wisconsin goes over 400 yards rushing now, by the way. Here's what is coming up for Melvin Gordon to face the defenses that he will see the rest of the way. After the bye, they've got Maryland, and then things can get a little stingy there, including a road trip at Iowa. The Hawkeyes defense allowing less than 100 per game. He is averaging 174 per game coming in. His projected season total right now would set a new Big Ten record, currently held by Ron Dayne at 2109. 6 regular season, and you're projecting that they would play in a bowl game as well. 2nd and 3 here for the Badgers. And he's got the first down to move the chains. Your 2,000-yard rushing club in Big Ten history. Ron Dayne's done it twice. Larry Johnson, Lorenzo White, and Damian Anderson are the other guys in that group. Dayne's 2109 in 1996 is the Big Ten record. And then in descending order, Larry Johnson, that monster year for Penn State in 02. Lorenzo White with the Spartans in 85. Damian Anderson in 2000 rushed for over 2,000 yards. And Dane did it a second time as well. Victory formation. Dane and Amici and Crazy Legs Hirsch, their names are all up on the side of the building here at Camp Randall. Perhaps that guys could be up there one day as well. The latest in a long line of very good running backs here at Wisconsin. Over 1,000 yards on the season. Today he broke that mark, so that's 10 years in a row and 20 of the last 22 seasons. A 1,000-yard rusher here at Wisconsin. Badgers will improve to 4-2, 1-1 in the Big Ten. Illinois will fall to 3-4, 0-3 in the conference. Coming up next, College Football Scoreboard presented by Honda. Badgers will work that clock, 38-28. Wisconsin gets the win over Illinois. Big day on the ground, and perhaps Joel Stave returning to the forefront at quarterback today with his performance. Coming up next on ESPN2, the College Football Scoreboard presented by Honda. So long from Madison. Along with Joey Galloway, Paul Carcaterra, and Beth Mowins, let's get you back to Adnan in the studio.